What is going on, snipers? Naeem Al-Obeidi here. I hope all of y'all are enjoying your day today. Let's dive into our daily cryptocurrency analytics. We're going to be talking about the top 2 cryptocurrencies of Q1 of 2018 and whether or not these coins would be good for Q2 of 2018. We're going to be looking at the Binance coin making some enormous gains. We actually called this one out in March, and we'll talk about that. And then Vechain making some awesome runs in Q1 of 2018, primarily in the beginning of 2018. And we're going to talk about why I think Vechain might be a good steal. A lot of discounted coins in altcoins right now. And if we actually transition to the percentage of total market capitalization dominance of Bitcoin and altcoins, understand I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of these larger coins. But for the first time ever, typically, as you all know, you've seen this before, altcoins typically act in an inverse relationship to Bitcoin. And you can see how for the first time ever, altcoins are acting in accordance with Bitcoin, rising in dominance for the first time, while Bitcoin is also rising in dominance. And if we transition to our first coin, the Binance coin, one of the top performers of 2018, one thing that you'll realize is it was pretty obvious that this was going to be a top performer. If y'all are getting our alerts on Patreon, y'all know I posted this on March 13th, the most undervalued coin of 2018 being the Binance coin. And I even say here, I expect more upside in a new all-time high for this coin. And this was actually a trade alert for those of you on our Patreon. And if we transition into the technical analysis to look at whether or not it's a good time to get into the Binance coin or now, understand you're supposed to buy the hype and sell the news. If you haven't written that one down, write that down, because that is something from traditional markets that have also transitioned into the crypto markets. And it's a saying that whenever there's hype, whenever you're expecting something to happen and you know that this asset or this coin in the crypto market is involved with the hype, then it's probably a good idea to maybe lock in a small position in that coin, because understand that fundamental analysis also works just as much as technical analysis, and fundamentals are extremely important to know, and the best way to keep track of that is to stay in the know. And that's why we have programs like our Patreon, our Twitter, our YouTube channel for y'all to stay up to date. But is it a good time to get into Binance or the BNB coin? In my opinion, no. I am now dollar cost averaging my position out as we're seeing these new highs, because now that the news is going to come out, typically within 24 to 48 hours of their coin burn, we've seen some extreme run-ups. But for the first time ever, we've seen a run-up before the coin burn, because people are now expecting the coin burn, expecting the news. So in my opinion, you want to observe the masses and do the opposite. And that's why I'm dollar cost positioning or dollar cost averaging my way out of this position right now, just based on the RSI on the 1 day. Anything over 70 is oversold. I'm just not comfortable buying any more at these price levels, at least for now, while the 1 day is at these really high RSI levels. And another thing that I'd like for y'all to see here is that the MACD becoming extremely overstretched, almost as overstretched as we saw in December when it saw its initial run up. So in my opinion, yes, there may be some intrinsic value here, but is it a good time to get a position in? Maybe not, but Vechain is looking a little bit different. Let's transition into Vechain and look at the coin market cap first and foremost. Very similar total market cap at around $1.4 billion. So understand that Vechain is different than Binance in a lot of ways, and Vechain really saw its run up because of a lot of different factors, including the Thor program, where they're incentivizing individuals to hold on to 10,000 plus VEN coins, and there's different tiers on that system if y'all know about the Vechain Thor program. But there's also news of their partnership with BMW. There's also news of them now being added on a new exchange, which actually initiated this next run up that we're seeing right now. And Vechain is an intrinsically valuable coin, primarily in my opinion because of its team. Understand that Sunny Liu here, the chief executive officer, if we actually pull up his LinkedIn, you can see here he's worked for over 5 years with Louis Vuitton in China as an executive. And because of that, having a quarterback team, having a team that can take you through the good and the bad times, in my opinion, is important. You need somebody with credibility for the most part. You know, Vitalik Buterin, for example, didn't have credibility when creating Ethereum, but When we're in this early adopter phase, past the innovator phase, as we talked about in yesterday's video, it's more important to have individuals like Sunny Lu with credibility in a project for it to see any sort of speculative value, because the speculative value eventually turns into intrinsic value. Understand, it's a very complex relationship when you're looking at intrinsic value, speculative value, the correlations and the differences. Intrinsic value can also exceed speculative value, but it could also be the inverse. That's why you want to be careful. You want to look for coins that are at a good price level if you're going to put in a position. And I think Vechain is looking a little bit better than Binance, being one of the top 2 cryptocurrencies of Q1 of 2018. Heading into Q2, Vechain, in my opinion, might be the better bet at this point. If we were to draw a Fibonacci retracement here, just to determine potential support and resistance levels, we'll go to the top of this candle wicks, all the way to this bottom right here. Actually, we'll go down to the only known bottom we have. You can see we're finding some support right along the 0.23, and if we were to zoom in here on a 4-hour chart, being the fact that we're at these low Fibonacci levels, in my opinion, we're going to be heading back towards these higher Fibonacci counts over time, past the 0.38, past the 0.5, especially because the whole overall market is down. And in my opinion, if we were to draw another count here with the Fibonacci retracement, you can see if we were to draw it out just from this zone right here, it's also acting in coordinates with that Fibonacci retracement support and resistance level. And in my opinion, looking at the 1-day RSI as well, being at these oversold levels, this is really what I like to see when I'm putting in a position. I like to see these significant sharp bounces at these oversold levels, which give you more, it gives you confidence that this is oversold and we are seeing buyers come into the market and there is strength. And then looking at the MACD, also in line with that exact correlation. Very different than Binance, where the Binance coin was overstretched on the buyer side, but this is being overstretched on the seller side and has just now seen this little shift in direction. And the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, is a little bit of a delayed indicator. So this is a little bit delayed. That's why we've already seen price levels increase. But in my opinion, that's just the start to a coin like Vechain. So where is the best position in? Well, if we were to pull out a closer chart here, we'll actually pull up a 1 hour and we'll look at a more closer view here in terms of creating that entry point. You can see we have this bull flag, in my opinion, forming here with support right around that 2.09 level here. And we're looking at USD valuation, being that there is some pairings like that. We're finding some known resistance levels right around $2.98, even a big even, which is $3. Understand, you'll see resistance typically at these big evens like $3, $4, $5, especially with these lower cap coins. So now that we've found resistance right around that $3 ratio, in my opinion, being the fact that we're in this channel now, we can wait for this RSI to probably dip a little bit lower towards that 40. Typically, you'll see RSI levels find support at 40 once they see some sort of exuberance like we saw here with Vechain. So 40 would really be this level. And in my opinion, dollar cost averaging up until around this level would be smart with Vechain. As it starts to kind of come down, finding a little bit of support here where we found previous support, in my opinion, this is a good entry point. And you can also set up some very, very close stop losses there to ensure that you're safe and it's not going to see further lows. And then one last technical indicator I'd like to show y'all is the Fibonacci retracement here. If we were to just pull that up right now to see where prices are at, you can see how we're bouncing right on top of that 0.38 right now, about to breach the 0.5, which is most likely going to take us all the way up to the 0.78. I think we'll see further resistance right along this level here of 3.22, which would be $3.22. And in my opinion, along these levels would be good to dollar cost average out, wait for another pullback, and then continue to swing trade this on the way up. And then you see this huge spike in volume. Awesome, right? Yeah, for sure. The reason we see this is because it was just listed on the new exchange. And with that being said, I think that Vechain and BNB and the Binance coin are extremely good coins to watch in 2018. I think Vechain is just in a better position right now for an entry point than the BNB coin is. However, the coin burn is coming up April 15th, so you never know. BNB might skyrocket as well. That's why I dollar cost average when I'm taking my profits. But hopefully y'all were able to make some profits with our Binance coin call early in March. But if not, stay tuned here on Sniper Sim and you'll be sure to stay up to date with the current knowledge and information. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell to make sure you're always up to date. And with that being said, thank you all for watching. Until next time, snipers, out!